Hey, hello, it's Sandy Amorum, and I am back with day two of this preview that I'm doing this week to the upcoming Mindset Reset 21-day holiday challenge. So let me start with hi, Nikki, how you doing? Let me start with a quick recap for those of you that weren't here yesterday, or if you haven't seen the first video yet. So the first thing I want you to know is a little bit about me, so you know why you would even care to listen to me about the holidays. So my name is Sandy Amorum. I've been a coach for over 20 years. I am a master coach. I'm trained in many, many different types of coaching and modalities. And I love my work, I really do. And one of the things that had me create this 21-day challenge was that I myself have had a very challenging year. Between things not really going the way I wanted to in certain areas of my business, and I have someone close to me is ill at the moment and going through a bit of a health crisis. You know, 2019 was a bit challenging. And if you're at all like me, those challenges can start to weigh you down after a while. And so I started to look at ways that I could help myself get through the challenges and also help you and my clients and the people in my programs deal with the stress and overwhelm that often comes with the holiday season. You know, and it's a hard thing to say because I love the holidays, and yet, I mean, let's tell the truth, they can be quite challenging, yes? Oh, I see lots of people joining in live, so just if you could pop your name in the comments or just say hi and where you're from and how you feel about the holiday season coming up. Or actually, let me ask you a better question than that. When you think about the holidays, what's the first thought or feeling that comes up for you? And while you're doing that, I'll say a little bit more about yesterday's live stream. So yesterday, I began with an invitation for you to make a list of everything that you could think of that you are tolerating as you head into the month of December and the holiday season. So, for example, you might look at tolerations as a party you don't want to go to, or things that you said you would do that you really don't want to do, or that you don't have time for. You might feel that getting dressed up and going out and eating all that rich food feels like something that you really should do, but if you had a choice, you wouldn't. So there's lots of ways that tolerations can really increase and amplify during the holiday season. So I asked you to make a list of everything that you could think of that you might be tolerating in your life right now that'll actually increase over the holidays. And, you know, if you're just hearing this now, relax. I didn't ask you to do anything with that list. I just want you to make a list. Sometimes there's that first level of freedom comes from getting that list of things you tolerate out of your head and onto paper. When we keep all that stuff in our minds, it can really cause us to spin into a negative state. It can also lead to feelings of stress and anxiety, not being able to sleep, different ways of coping that aren't very healthy. So that was yesterday's live stream, and I gave you kind of an overview of the whole week of live streams that I'm doing as we head into the Mindset Reset Challenge that starts on December 1st. Now, here's the thing that might be surprising. Even though I called it the Mindset Reset, which might make you think that it's all about your mind, I'm actually going to be sharing things that you can do with regard to your body and soul. So we're going to be looking at the whole system, the mind, body, and soul, because your mind is impacted by everything around it, including how you feel in your body and in your spirit or your soul. Okay, so that was yesterday. So let's talk a little bit about this mind, body, and soul connection. So the three elements, these three parts of you play a pretty big role in how you feel about yourself and your life. When they're working well together, you probably have an experience of well-being, that everything is right with the world. And when they are not working so well together, you might experience exhaustion and insomnia and things like that. Ask me how I know. One of the things that you might not know about me, if you are just finding these videos now, is that I am a coach who actually refuses to pretend when things in my life aren't working well. So rather than try to make it look like I have it all together, I actually tell the truth about the challenges that I face in my own life, because I think it's important for us to realize that we are all human, we all have challenges, and that being a trained professional doesn't mean that, you know, we don't have problems. And I think that it's important in today's kind of online social media world that is so much about the facade, how things look. I think it's important that that we and I tell the truth about this kind of thing. And in fact, I've learned over the years that the more that I do this with my programs and in my work, the better connections I have with the people that I work with, and the better the results they have, because they know that they can trust the work that we're doing together. So mind, body, soul, when they're working well together. So when they're working well together, you might even say that the three are aligned. And if you think about the word alignment, that has a lot more, I think, power than a word I used yesterday, which was balance. So yesterday I talked about balance, and how balance is kind of this carrot that's just dangling forever out of reach for most people. And it's, you know, it's one of those words that's become this ideal that if only we could have work-life balance, if only we had balance, that everything would be fine. Except it's kind of in the same realm as perfection. It's like balance doesn't really exist. And if you think about the word itself, if you think about, actually, I posted this on the page earlier today. I posted, one of my favorite things to do is to walk by the beach. And earlier this summer, when I was walking on the beach, someone had balanced one stone on top of the other, creating these amazing little, almost like sculptures. Now, if you think of the balance in your life similar to that, it wouldn't take much to topple those stones. And so even when you reach an experience or create an experience of balance, the pitfall is that you expect it to stay balanced, and that is unlikely to happen. So I like to think, instead of balance, I like to think of it as a verb, as the active work of balancing. So imagine you're on now, you know, on a tightrope or a wooden beam, and you have to balance yourself. You're engaging your whole system. You're not simply standing there. And even if you did balance for a moment, again, any small thing could actually cause you to again be unbalanced. So to actually strive for balance, to me, is a bit of a waste of time because we're never really going to get there. But if we work towards alignment, and what do I mean by alignment? It means that you're doing more things in your life that actually work for you. They work for you, they feel good, they align with your values and what's important to you. And so there's more of, you think of it like when things are aligned, they kind of fall into place. And that has a lot more possibility, and we can more easily create that for ourselves than balance. Does that make sense? So, alignment is also about checking in with yourself. It's about checking in. Are those three parts of me, my mind, body, and soul, are they connected? Am I taking care of them? Is what I'm thinking and feeling aligned with what I'm saying, right? So there's lots of ways to think about alignment. And let's see, what else do I want to say about balance and alignment? This is a great topic because there's so much to dive into. So let's now move on to today's focus, which is your mind. You might say the first leg of that three-legged stool, mind, body, and balance. So your mind is your mental health, your view of the world, your thoughts, your memories, and even images, because we hold images in our mind. So if you were to think about the holiday season right now, right, the upcoming month, and again, you could get a piece of paper and a pen and write this down. I want to ask you, like, what's holding you back from experience peace during the holidays? What's holding you back from a peaceful holiday season? And you might look at, a lot of the things that hold us back at this time of year are external things, obligations, we need to be there for other people, et cetera, et cetera. But I also want you to look at internal things that might be holding you back. Is it a negative mindset? Is it an opinion you have about someone that you have to spend time with? Is it, it could be anything like that, right? Something internal that's within your control. So write down anything that feels like it could stop you from feeling good about the holidays, or that it would take away your enjoyment of the holidays. And while you're doing that, I'm going to review the framework that I shared with you yesterday. And this is a framework that I use in all my programs, and even in my one-on-one work with people. So it's a framework that I learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza, but I also adapted it for my own work. And I have used it now for the last 3 or 4 years, and I love it. To me, it is the simplest way to shift my energy and shift my mindset. So I asked you to consider what might hold you back from enjoying the holidays, right? So now we're going to shift gears. You can set that aside for a moment. I'm going to shift gears and ask you to create an intention, almost the opposite. Like, what's the intention that you would like to hold for the holidays? And as you're thinking of this intention, so again, I'll use the example that I gave. So if we're thinking of all the things that could stop us from enjoying the holidays, you know, obligations and too many parties and overeating and overspending and all those kinds of things, then what would be the opposite experience for you that would actually help you feel better about the holidays? So for example, maybe my intention would be that if it was the opposite, my intention would be that I intend to have time every single day to take care of myself and my well-being. Now, that doesn't have to be a lot of time. Maybe it's a half an hour, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 10 minutes, but that every day, no matter how busy I am, no matter how many things on my to-do list, that I am taking some time for myself. So my intention is to make time for myself over the holidays. Okay, so what's your intention for the holidays? So I have the clear intention, time for myself over the holidays. I think probably I mean, I don't know this for sure about men, but I would say every woman I know would like to have that intention realized, yes? So the second part of the framework is to consider the emotion. So if my intention is more time for myself during the holidays, then how do I want that intention to feel? How do I want to feel as I'm making time for myself over the holidays? I would say I want to feel relaxed. I want all that self-care, all that attention that I'm going to give to myself. I want to feel relaxed. Yes, I do. All right, so we have the clear intention, and we have the emotion, and then the third part of the framework is to look at the action. So now that I know what my intention is to make time for myself for the holidays, what my desired emotion is, I want to feel relaxed, then I can look at the action that needs to happen, right? Now, here's the pitfall, and I mentioned this yesterday, but it's so important, I'm going to mention it again. What we often do is jump to the action because we want to do something. We want to fix it. We want to do. But the doing won't make any difference unless you have the first two parts of that equation first. So if you don't have your clear intention and your desired emotion, action really isn't going to create what you want. So if we use my example, my intention is to make time for myself over the holidays. My desired emotion is to feel relaxed. And now I can start to think of the action that I'm willing to take. So what are some actions that I might be willing to take? I'm going to schedule my morning meditation. I'm going to write in my journal. Even if it's just 5 minutes, I'm going to do both of those things every day. I'm going to, some other options, if this is something similar for you, you might look at even reading, taking some time out and reading something, or listening to the kind of music that you love over the holidays, or connecting with someone that you care for. These are all ways that you can take an action towards feeling more grounded, more relaxed, better about how you're going to get through the holidays. So that was my example, and I think it was a pretty common one, just saying that I've heard that from a lot of women. Okay, so now As you are writing down your clear intention, your desired emotion, and your actions that you're willing to take, I want you to notice what thoughts are coming up as you start to create this plan for yourself. And I invite you to notice without judgment. And I know that can be challenging. You know, we tend to be really hard on ourselves. I know that I have been in the past, and that just actually makes everything worse. So if you could notice the thoughts that come up without judgment, maybe it's like, this is crazy, I don't have time for this, what is she talking about, there is no extra time over the holidays, etc. All of that might feel true, but I promise, and this might make you laugh, but if I was to follow you around for 24 hours a day, I'm pretty sure I would be able to see a 15 to 30-minute block of time where you could make yourself a priority. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so notice those thoughts without judgment, say thanks for sharing, and let's move on to the next part. So, of all those actions that you could take now for your intention, I want you to actually even like, I don't know how to amp it up a little bit. Which of those actions would be most pleasurable to you? So that we're not just doing things because we know they're good for us, but that they actually are also going to bring us pleasure. So of the actions that you think you might be able to do to bring your intention to life, which ones would be the most pleasurable? And see if you can put that into your day. There's nothing wrong with more pleasure, is there? All right, so as you're thinking of your actions, and this is going to be the practice for you to check in with yourself. This is something that we're going to do daily in the Mindset Challenge in 3 weeks of it, is you might ask yourself, does this action feel good? And it's a good question to ask yourself because you might come up with some good actions, but they might be coming from the past, from things you think you should do, from what others think you should do, and that's really going to have a negative impact on the energy of taking the action. Remember I said if the action isn't aligned, it's really not going to be effective. So, does the action feel good or not? So we talked about alignment being a better focus for you than balance. We've talked about the importance of the mind, body, soul connection, and also a simple process to really help guide you through whatever negative circumstances or situations might come up over the holidays. Because as soon as you get clear on the intention that you have for the holidays and you've decided how you want to feel, then you can start also asking yourself questions like, what could I do today to feel, and then fill in the blank. So if we use my example, what could I do today to feel relaxed? What can I do today to feel relaxed? And then I would go and do something that would help me to feel relaxed. So maybe I would walk down to a cafe along the river near my home and with my journal and sit at the window, write in my journal, and have a coffee or a tea. Again, what I'm suggesting isn't about quantity of time, but quality of time. I know people are busy at this time of year, and what I'm saying is, I'm sure that when you commit, you will see 10, 15, 30-minute chunks of time that you could give to yourself as the best gift you ever received. Because especially if you do that day after day, for the month of December, you will start to notice a cumulative effect. You will be less reactive. you will be more able to respond and to deal with any situations that might come up. So, I'm going to begin to wrap this up by asking you, what do you now notice, or what do you now know about changing your mindset that you didn't know before this live stream? What do you now know? You know, this might seem simple or too basic, but often, especially when it comes to the mind, the more simple the process, the more effective. And so my goal in creating the 21-day holiday challenge was really to give you simple, effective processes that you can use every day, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, and even if you only have a few minutes, so that there's no excuse that you don't get to the end of December feeling like the most exhausted person on the planet. Because think about it. Do you really want to start your year from that state? I'm guessing you don't. So tomorrow, you see what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow's live stream, I'm going to be talking about the second pillar of the mind-body-soul connection, which is the body. I'm going to be giving you some really simple, easy strategies for how you can connect more with your body, how you can be really good to yourself physically over the holidays, so again, you don't get to the end of the year exhausted. So I invite you to come back tomorrow, same time, 6 o'clock Pacific, and I'm going to continue with the body and how taking care of yourself during the holidays can support a strong mindset. Now, you might think they're separate, the mind and the body, but it's all connected. So how can taking better care of your body support a more positive, more empowered mindset? That's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So thank you for being here live, and if you're watching this recording afterwards, just let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, and I invite you to come back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, and I will respond to any questions at that time. All right, thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world. Again, I'm Sandy Amorum, and I love having this kind of conversation, so I hope you come back tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.